Solar energy, history, chemistry, pros and cons. Introduction. The declining amounts of traditional sources of energy have presented humanity with the biggest challenge of inventing innovative ways to harness the power of the sun. This forms the reason why the conversion of solar power into high-voltage electricity remains a political agenda in both developing and developed nations. This has also been precipitated by the need to find less polluting and abundant sources of energy than fossil fuels. Despite the rapid growth in most economies in the entire world, the percentage of solar power in use is still very low in comparison to fossil fuels. History of solar power. The use of solar energy has been with humanity for centuries. The first scientist to successfully harness solar energy was William Adams in 1876. Since the 7th century BC, indigenous people used magnifying glasses to strike sunlight into beams so that they would cause wood to catch fire. The breakthrough led to the creation of a selenium solar cell. William discovered that if he flashed light on the selenium solar cell, an electric current would be produced. This period recorded great success through the invention of the solar boiler by Charles Greeley Abbott in 1936. The demand for safe and sustainable energy has led to a new era in which solar energy has been adopted as one of the major sources of energy. This has also been necessitated by the dwindling sources of fossil fuels and an increase in the knowledge of environmentally safe sources of energy. The chemistry behind solar energy. Nuclear fusion is the process by which the sun generates solar energy. The energy produced by the sun is called solar energy and is tapped into different types of energies through the concentration of solar power. The sun is a composition of hydrogen and helium that emits solar energy which travels from the sun to the Earth's surface at the speed of light. During nuclear fusion, the sun's high pressure and hot temperature cause hydrogen atoms to come apart and the nuclei to come together, for hydrogen nuclei join to become helium atoms. This is a process achieved by a solar panel system. The system has a photovoltaic panel that contains silicon. The solar panel is composed of mirrors that reflect and focus the sun's rays, concentration of solar power, thus providing heat which in turn helps power a generator. Solar energy is therefore produced through intricate processes. When the sun strikes the panel, electrons in the silicon buzz and produce a magnetic current. The wires can detect these currents and relay them to an inverter. The sun is a nuclear plant that produces large amounts of nuclear energy on our planet. Solar power is a functional power used in our homes, businesses, and other places. Advantages of solar energy. The advantages of solar energy are that the energy from the sun is practically free and the recovery to payback period for this investment can be very short depending on how much electricity your household uses. Furthermore, most governments provide incentives to families who adopt the use of solar energy in their homes. In addition to the above, the use of solar energy attracts credit on the account of a user in cases where the installation can produce extra solar energy, which is bought by energy-producing companies. This is called net metering. In addition to the above, solar energy does not require any fuel and is not affected by the supply and demand, thus not affected by the ever-increasing price of gasoline. Furthermore, the use of solar energy indirectly reduces health costs. This is because it is a clean source of energy that does not release harmful chemicals into the atmosphere. According to Wyke, it does not contribute to global warming, acid rain or smog, and actively contributes to the decrease of harmful greenhouse gas emissions. The list of support for the adoption of solar energy is indeed long. It can be generated everywhere provided there is sufficient solar energy. It can therefore be used to pay for the consumption of energy that is utility supplied. In addition to the above, it does not only reduce your electricity bill but will also continue to supply your home or business with electricity in the event of a power outage, can operate entirely independently, not requiring a connection to a power or gas grid at all. It does not attract maintenance costs and lasts for decades after installation as opposed to other sources of energy. In addition to the above, its operations do not demand constant checkups and the quantity of energy supplied can easily be increased by the increase in energy demands by simply adding more solar panels. Disadvantages of solar energy. While solar energy is free, its production is very expensive in that generating power from photovoltaic panels costs more than 4 times as much as coal, and more than twice what wind power costs. Solar panels cannot produce energy at night or in the absence of solar energy because they rely on solar energy from the sun. In addition, the initial cost is the main disadvantage of installing a solar energy system, largely because of the high cost of the semiconducting materials used in building one. The high cost of solar energy makes it out of reach for most people. This is because, as energy shortages are becoming more common, solar energy is becoming more price competitive. Solar panels need open spaces for installation and as such are not suitable for areas that are heavily covered by dense forests. Their applications are thus limited. The production of solar energy is influenced by the presence of clouds or pollution in the air. No solar energy will be produced during nighttime, although a battery backup system or net metering will solve this problem. Last, solar-powered cars are slower in speed than the other cars powered by gasoline. Conclusion. Even though the installation of the solar system is more expensive, which makes the overall application of this system more expensive than traditional forms of energy, it can be discerned from the discussions presented above that its advantages outweigh its disadvantages. This demonstrates the reason behind the rush by most countries to explore solar power as an alternative solution to the challenges posed by traditional sources of energy.